All rise, please, for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. We'll do some attendance here to call a quorum. Counselor Baumgartner, Ebers here, Ferguson.
Here.
I'm here, Patternus.
Here.
We are here. We have a quorum. We'll call the meeting to order here at 5:30. Right now it's the appropriate time for the public to come forward and address the council. If anybody from the public wishes to address the council, please provide your name for the meeting record. You're the only public here, Ross.
You're also the press. It depends upon what hat you'd want to wear right now.
Okay, very good. We'll close down the public forum at this point and call for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made by Ferguson, seconded by Baumgartner to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Agenda has been approved. We'll move down to the consent agenda. All right, we have all kinds of items here. We have minutes from October 16 and 30. We have the confirmation of appointment to Crystal Dillon to the EDA. We have 3-step increases for staff. We have an authorization to extend an employment offer to Dustin Stonke for Public Works worker. We have our October expenditures. We have a couple purchase orders for the electric department and a quote. We have resolution 2023-109 authorizing and directing the city administrator to execute and deliver League of Minnesota Cities liability coverage waiver from whereby the city does not waive the monetary limits on municipal tort liability established by Minnesota state statutes 466.04. We have an electric department quote from Chapel Central, and we have a couple applications for payment, one for the Depew project and one for the 212 water main project. I'll call for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made by Baumgartner, seconded by Ebers to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Consent agenda carries. Okay, so we're updating, going down to the business items here in discussion. We're updating the fine and fee schedule. And apparently there's been enough adjustment to that where we are here to have a public hearing about the fine and fee schedule. So if anybody from the public wishes to address council on the fine and fee schedule, now is the time.
So it's just a process explanation. We did pass the 2024 fine and fee schedule last meeting per resolution. However, since we collect more than $5,000 each year of these fees, we have to pass them by ordinance instead. And so because of that, we also have to host a public hearing. So your last meeting was considered the first reading of this ordinance. This is the public hearing. And once we close the public hearing, if there's no public comment, you can then pass the resolution, which is updating the fine and fee schedule. So just a little bit of education for everyone, including myself.
Thank you for that. Not seeing anybody from the public come forward on this, so we'll call for a motion to update the fine and fee schedule, resolution 102.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made by Ferguson, seconded by Baumgartner to update the fine and fee schedule as determined in resolution 2023-102. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, resolution 102 carries. We have a first reading here, amending section 92.32 regarding weeds.
So many of these items on the discussion, business items on the agenda Pam made great recommendations to update depending upon Minnesota statute, as well as resolutions taking the direction that the council provided us after the cannabis workshop to update the following resolutions with the cannabis direction you guys wanted to go. But Pam can speak to these further.
Yeah, so, good evening, council. So ordinance number 2023-06 is amending your existing section 92.35, which addresses weed maintenance your weed ordinance. So there was a legislative change in our state legislature that specifically addresses what cities can and cannot do, and that they must allow a managed natural landscape area. And that can't be prohibited. So what you have in front of you is just the incorporation of those statutory changes and requirements that would allow for the property owners to be able to have that managed landscape area, and putting parameters in place where there is some distance from the property lines, not being in the right of way, and also having some kind of designation, a little sign that says that it's a managed landscape area. So that's that first one that you have in front of you. And then the other changes you have see in there were some that were previously made by council, I believe, which is regarding the noxious weeds. With that, that's the end of my report with respect to that section. Is there any questions?
No questions on the weed policy.
Okay, so with respect to resolution number 2023-110, this is a resolution, I think, was this on the consent agenda?
This was not. This was added to the discussion business items.
Okay, so this is reason why this is a resolution is this is just your existing parks policy. So this is a resolution amending the policy that you have in place to reflect what the discussion was on the evening in early October that we talked about cannabis and cannabinoid products, and is really specifically added cannabinoid product in there, which is defined by our new state statute. So that's not something that I just came up with. That's an existing definition. And then just prohibiting the smoking of those types of products, either regular smoking or through electronic delivery devices. So that is what that policy changes. So that's not an ordinance. So with that, with respect to that, I'm open for questions on that one.
Look good to me.
And that would be a motion to approve the resolution if you so choose.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2023-110.
Motion's been made by Ebbers, seconded by Baumgartner to approve resolution 110. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Resolution 110 carries. And we have
So,
another.
You
ahead.
do have another. So there is, in our discussion about cannabis, there was a desire of the council to make sure that your home occupations restrictions would include in residential districts, no retail or commercial sales of cannabinoid products, as that term again is defined by statute, which, by the way, I noticed that should be 342.01. So we'll have to update that and put the 1 in. If you notice in my cite to the statutory section, there is the 1 got dropped off. So we'll have to quickly update that. We'll do that for next time, because this is a proposed addition amendment to chapter 152, which is your zoning code, which is our zoning code in Olivia. This one actually is not just an introduction to be voted on at the next meeting, but there actually has to be setting the next meeting as a public hearing on this as well, just because it's under the zoning code. So tonight, we would be looking for direction to not have it just be the first introduction or the first reading, but also to be setting that public hearing for the next meeting.
Sounds good. We'll have a public hearing regarding ordinance 2023-07, amending section 152.086. We'll have that at the next meeting. Does that sound good?
Does this need to be made by motion, Pam?
No, that's fine. We can just have direction on that. So this final last one is an existing ordinance that's on the books right now, public nuisances, section 92.17. There's a few sections that deal with nuisances. This one is entitled Affecting Moral and Decency. And it again just is a reflection of what the discussion was at the October meeting to add cannabinoid products to that chapter where it is whenever there's intoxicating liquor or cannabinoid products to be included in that as something that can be enforced if it's causing an issue as a public nuisance.
Any questions, comments, discussion?
No comments. How old is this law? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
The original one.
Yeah.
Because some of the content in here was.
Right. Yeah, I can go back and check on your code real quick.
You don't need to. I'm just curious if you knew off the top of your head.
I do not know off the top of my head, but
Alright.
you will be happy to know I did not. So some cities, when we're doing some of this updating, I've actually found an ordinance that talks about where they have to hitch the horse to. So
Oh, yeah.
it's not as out of date as that.
You were doing all right.
We're doing okay.
Okay.
We're practically modern by those standards.
Yeah, so you will see those on the next meeting and then we'll have a public hearing on the one. So
Well, thank you, Pamela.
you're welcome.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll move down to committee reports. We had a EDA meeting, was it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Last week. It was last week.
Yeah, it was last week.
I think so. Pretty certain.
I don't remember what we discussed.
Housing.
Yeah, we basically just kind of had a further discussion from the previous meeting on housing ideas and basically just didn't really come up with a solid plan. I think we just more discussed what the options kind of are right now and, what need to think about what direction the EDA wants to take, if I want to take any action on it or not on possible new development.
Yeah, the focus was on that real estate by Pond Park there on
Fairview. Estates.
Fairview Drive, Fairview Estates. There are some just kind of preliminary drawings out there that show how that neighborhood might be laid out. We measured some of the pros and cons with this cul-de-sac type neighborhood versus the standard squares that we have here in Olivia. And it was really interesting to hear from SEH about the whys on these cul-de-sac neighborhoods. It slows traffic down considerably, for safety reasons. So, there's a give and take between that and the works department cleaning the place out after a blizzard. So a lot of different factors to consider when looking at that property. But EDA absolutely recognizes the house inventory to be a little bit of a stumbling block to further development in the community. And they're actively looking at some options. Well, it's good. Not a wonderful time to build right now, just putting that out there.
No.
But it's definitely a good time to do some discovery.
And 2 weeks ago, October 25th.
Okay. Were there any other reports? Any reports from staff?
I think the main thing that we're currently working on to hopefully wrap up by the end of this year is we are looking at updating our employee personnel policy. So this, I was told to sign our personnel policy from 2005 when I joined in August, and it was a 90-page document that I had to review and sign as the policies of City Hall. So there are a number of things from Minnesota statute that need to go in place January 1st, 2024. So we are working on updating that to bring it in line with what needs to be happening. And then we'll also give staff a chance to review and comment on it before it goes into effect and before they're all requesting to sign it and things like that. So that's kind of the big project that we are currently undertaking right now.
Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Chief, how was Halloween on the streets? We like that.
There's a lot of events.
That's good to hear.
A lot of the fire hall help. Overall, very, very peaceful.
Good. I know the chamber's been taking they've been really proactive on getting holiday happenings lined up. That's gonna be on December 7th. I believe it's gonna, the concept will have grown since you've seen it last, and they just keep adding. Mackenzie has been doing a wonderful job as a director there. We're fortunate to team up with her in that organization, so.
And the city will have a float. So if anybody here is interested in being on the city's float for holiday happenings, let me know.
Matt wants to.
Great.
He was saying.
I was thinking it was gonna be more of a Landon thing.
Just as an FYI, you're all welcome.
Is it a
Look,
float that
you.
exists already somewhere?
Oh no, we're decorating a trailer.
You are, okay.
Yes.
And if you're on and he also wants to help.
Oh, yes.
Excellent. Okay.
I'll just do it all.
I love this volunteering that's coming. I'll take it.
We have some other notices and communications, very important vote coming up tomorrow for the Bold School referendum. Just want everybody to keep in mind the important date tomorrow. Go out there and vote. Very important. And also want everybody to recognize that on Saturday is Veterans Day. So we here in Olivia obviously are very close to this holiday. We've sent our own neighbors and sons and daughters and brothers and sisters and uncles and fathers and mothers. And anyway, a lot of Olivians are veterans. We have a very, very strong military community here. And just on Saturday, just hope you keep it in mind to thank them for their service. We wouldn't have the society we have without their sacrifice. So thank you, veterans. Any other business that go before the good of the council? If not, I'll call for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second?
Motion made by Paternoss, seconded by Baumgartner to adjourn. Any further discussion? Nothing? Okay.
Okay.
All right. If not, all in favor, say aye.
Bye.
All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you.